And we're back to Akuban Nights. Welcome back, everybody.
We've been plotting.
What is the plot? What is the plan?
Send a flying elephant and drop it on the rock.
Fantastic. Where are you going to get the elephant?
Can we fill the elephant's butt with belladonna?
Sure. But where do you get the elephant?
I heard you can hire adventurers in Berkshire that do nearly anything for money.
Right. Maybe they could go to Matava.
They're on the way.
Can we outsource this? You know,
Well,
there's a rock that needs to be killed. We have money, and we hire just a group of adventurers in Berkshire. I think that would be great.
you can, but if you ask around, you'll find out that that's been tried a few times, and some of them have these groups have never returned, and others have returned defeated. Yeah. And it's also worth noting that the only elephants in Arcadia are all the way over in Eridon.
In Akuba?
There are no elephants in Akuba.
Aw.
You are elephantless.
I mean, I could drop a Minotaur as well. I think that's a sound plan as well. Just with horns. No, seriously, guys. We have an idea how to get the rock down on the ground and let it stay on the ground and pepper it and just stay out of reach. But we are not sure if that works, because if it doesn't work, it's really bad. It's really bad. So
Doesn't work with that.
I guess we have this family meeting and we're all sitting together. I guess in Sammy's room, because he still needs to be in bed because he's really heavily wounded. Now, Maya, you had some ideas. Would you like to tell the rest of the family how we could tackle this beast?
Well, theoretically, we could. Okay, so do you know how birds are caught normally?
With a net.
No, bird liming. Basically, you find somewhere they'll land and cover it with a sticky substance. I was thinking we could string up a large amount of ropes covered in this sticky stuff and anchored very firmly to trees and other things. Yeah, firmly anchored. We could stand below these ropes, firing upwards at the rock, and if it swoops down to try and grab us, it will hopefully be entangled in the ropes and either be put off from actually swooping on us or potentially, get tangled and be much easier to attack.
So we tear and feather the rock. Oh no, just tear, right? Tar?
Tar, yes, not tear. Well, hopefully we'll be tearing it if we kill it. This is all strictly theoretical, though. I mean, whether we'll have a chance to actually set anything up before the rock goes hunting and swoops on us is quite another thing.
I think it's something where we need to take our time. We shouldn't rush anything. We prepare and sit and wait and lurk.
I think
like
it's
a dragon.
I think it's quite suicidal, personally, but I don't think a rock's a good idea. I really don't. But on the other hand, it might help my prospects somewhat. I'm not sure. You know what? Yeah, why not? Let's try the rock.
We're not under any time pressure, are we?
No.
So you have to do this soon.
Would the Queen be prepared to lend us at least some hunters and perhaps some workers to help set up this trap?
I was making
Maybe an
coffee.
Engineer.
What is the nature of the trap?
Okay, it's the setting up a bunch of ropes crisscrossed, sort of over the top of us, and then firing from underneath, and have the ropes basically covered in bird lime or other very sticky substances. So if the rock swoops down, it'll get tangled.
Yeah. Wait, how are you going to anchor these ropes?
There are trees. There are trees near Greathorn, so there must be small forests or woods.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a tree on the map, I'm pretty sure it's not a single tree. it stands for a very little forest, maybe.
Right,
You know?
right. Spread out
Yeah,
trees.
so basically we
certainly.
want trees, we want sort of some ropes sort of held up by sticks, but then like or sort of
Yes.
like large poles and then anchored to heavy rocks and things. So basically we just want, you know, sort of a lot of the ropes attached to rocks at the end, so if it gets tangled it'll be weighed down, etc., etc.
So
And we just present
Like
an
really sort of like a really impressive amount of ropes, and like a proper engineering feat amount of ropes and bird lime and like we're
Yeah.
not talking like a couple of ropes, we're talking like something substantial that's gonna, you know.
yes. Imagine these ropes and lines, but just laying on the ground. And the moment the rock is in reach and strikes for the
Not laying on the
Hard
ground,
horse.
over the top of us. Not laying on the ground.
yeah, but here's the thing: if I'm pretty sure the rock is an eagle and has very good eyesight, so it might see the ropes and not engage. What if you're able to pull the ropes, and then this all comes together at the moment where it grabs the horse, the tarred
I
horse?
think that's
know?
I think that's adding a needless level of complexity. I think that
Okay.
we can fire at the rock from underneath the ropes.
So you want to create like
Oh,
a
you
net
mean
of
if-
ropes like this,
Yes.
Pretty much.
and then hang out underneath it, and then
Yes.
attack
The
with
thing
missile
is-
weapons until
Yes.
it comes down, and then hopefully when it comes down, it gets tangled in the ropes, right? So that
That's the
means
theory.
you're gonna need something to attach the ropes to every distance you want the ropes apart, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So how far apart do you want these ropes? How tight do you want this setup?
How
if-
wide are a rock's feet?
Let's see. What is the wingspan of a regular eagle?
Pretty fucking huge.
Eagle
Yeah.
wingspans,
6-9
probably
feet?
around 7 or 8 feet, depending on the eagle. Looks to be around 7-ish feet. And a rock has 120 foot wingspan, so 120 divided by 7.
So what, like 3 or 4
17
feet?
times bigger than a regular eagle's foot. Size of eagle foot. Claw? Let's see. The average size. No, I don't want those. I want eagle claw size. Average man hand and an eagle claw. All right, so an eagle's claw is roughly the size of a regular person's fist. So let's say 4 inches across. 17 times 4 is 68, or 17 and change, divided by 12. So it's about 5 feet across.
So
5.5 feet.
Squares. We can work with 5 foot measurements. I think that's
Yeah.
handy.
Yeah.
So that means, do you want these ropes to be 5 feet across then?
Well, yeah.
That means you need a tree every 5 feet to tie the ropes to, which
Well-
then creates a really big canopy above you. You know? I don't know how you're going to create this net
It
in a
doesn't
situation.
all need to be trees. It's like a couple of trees just to sort of anchor things to the ground,
Uh-huh.
and then also poles holding things up, and then maybe sort of like rocks as well, just to weigh things down.
Well, okay.
So
And
we're
the
talking
important
like
thing is,
I'm gonna draw on the map.
these are not just ropes. The ropes need to be tarred,
Hmm.
so they stick like glue.
On the outside, you don't actually need trees every 5 feet because you can just have you can just tie the rope to the rope.
I
Right?
see. So you
Yeah.
get 4 corner trees and then bridge them and then
Yeah.
ropes between.
Yeah,
Okay.
so basically a sort of lattice, and the edges are either weighed down with big boulders or trees, or maybe just a stake buried in the ground. It's just a whole bunch of different, because it doesn't need to all be all of it doesn't need to be anchored, just enough that the rock can't just fly away with the thing.
Okay.
In fact, having a bit loose is good because it'll get more tangled.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Here's we could put our target for the rock to see and catch also on like a pole or something, like a goat, and above the net,
You want to Jurassic Park this thing then?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll really go for a goat though.
I don't know. It
might
might
need
be
something
easy
to
target.
Those are a bit small.
If they eat elephants, a goat might just be a snack.
We have 1 million ghost horses. It can finish any of them.
Can Sammy conjure an elephant?
I can conjure an elephant if we have elephant parts, and if the hit dices are.
I pull the rib. Is this an elephant rib? I guess not.
No, it's not an elephant rib. What is the hit die limit on your spell?
Huge ass rib though.
The hit die is my hit die, I think.
You are 5th level?
Yeah. Just double-checking.
Elephants have 11 hit dice. I'm sorry, Sammy. Try again.
Baby elephant.
Okay, is there anything made of ivory anywhere in this palace?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can get ivory, but I don't think Sammy can conjure an elephant.
What? Is
Not even a baby
though?
elephant. Yeah, but there's a hit die limitation on it. He can't
There's
conjure
a
something
spell
too
limitation.
powerful. Yeah.
What about a really big juicy cow?
What does a rock eat? What does it love to eat? What's its preferred meat type?
Mammals. Large mammals.
We had you read out like cows and horses and stuff, didn't you?
Cows, horses, camels, elephants, of course. Rhinos. The Ilardian crest in the western steppes here are home
we have
to
any
many a
rhinos?
rhino.
Or can I conjure a rhino, or
I believe rhinos are probably too high in hit dice as well. But you could capture a rhino, sedate a rhino, and lure it into place.
We're not
could
gonna go
poison
capture a
the
rhino and die
rhino.
to it.
What? You wouldn't die to the rhino. You'd be fine. Right? Maybe?
I mean, if we're gonna fight a rock, I think we can fight a rhino.
I got it. Buffalo. That's 5 hit dice. There you go.
Ooh. Are there any buffalo? Or
Look
are
at
they
that
all
big juicy
from
cow.
over
big-
hunting?
Juicy cow.
You could get a big juicy cow, no problem.
I think we would probably need a distraction though, because we need an awful long time to set this up.
It depends how close we are and if it's going to be able to see us. It's going to take us like a half a day, I reckon, to set this up.
Probably. A rhino is basically a more angry unicorn.
Yeah.
Do I
Oh, we're not
have-
taking Bessie. No. No, McTag.
We could take Sven. Sven the goat.
No. No. Sven
the goat
is not
already
available.
died. Perished to a dragon.
I think Sven is our mascot now. He can't die. Just keep it alive.
So you can
don't
take
think
it for
that-
the.
Okay, I probably sold the goat as soon as we got back to the city. I'm just
Sure.
like, right, this is surplus to requirements now, sell it. And you're just there like, where's the goat? And it's like, oh, I sold it.
Oh god. Well, goatless. I can't find a rhino stat block. All these books, guys, and no rhinos.
Isn't there a bestiary on the online?
I mean, there are countless bestiaries, but I
No,
was hoping
2E bestiary.
there are many, but they're not well organized because there's like 100 different 2E monster books. This doesn't matter. So yeah, you could get a rhino, you could get a buffalo, you could get a cow, you could get horses, and I don't think you're in danger of setting off the trap until the bait is put in it, right? You could build the
it's
the
gonna be like
trap
10
and then
foot high.
get the bait. Okay. Do you bring this plan to the queen?
I would if
Yeah. Well, Sarah, what do you think? You're so quiet.
Well, I'm worried. I think that's a very, very big enemy.
I mean, we should be protected by the net. If it doesn't work, we can still wait for it to disengage, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to be around for a couple of days, and we can just maybe under the protection of magic scurry away. and flee if need be.
But if it sees us while we set it up and it's not set up yet, it's just gonna pick one of us and fling us against the rock, right?
Well, that's where the horn of blasting comes in, surely.
If need be.
It's the emergency horn of blasting.
Take a look at it, Sarah. I think there's a small crack that developed after using it a second time. It doesn't look so stable to me.
I'm not sure it's gonna be worth it in the end, really. I feel like it's a very high risk for a moderate reward.
But it's a level
I
up.
don't know.
I mean, yes, it's about trust to the queen.
If Sammy would know any spells that help, I would feel much more comfortable. But as it is, I feel like we're very exposed to this.
So what spells do you know, Sammy?
The ones I know, I don't think will be particular use, but I've been thinking about it, and there should be ways to come up with ways to protect us. There in my books. There's one which, if you're falling from height, I can slow you down, but that is pretty. That's an emergency situation. I'd rather not even come to that in the first place. I was thinking of perhaps researching a spell that could hide our presence or confuse things of like illusions, like more people, perhaps, like fake versions of ourselves. A spell like that. Then if the rock came down, it would see the fake one and attack that instead.
Sounds great. How long do you need?
As long as it takes, really.
Oh, so only 4 to 5 years.
Well, for proper spell research, I'd probably say less than a month.
Do we have something that works in about the time frame of when are your wounds healed?
They're still. I don't know. Sarah could probably use her magic probably in the next week or so, maybe a little longer.
What can you do in a week?
I can rest if you need me to research magic. I need to be out of this bed.
Can't you research magic in bed? I mean, I read in bed all the time.
Yeah, me too.
It's too many. Research involves a lot of complicated discovery, experimentation, reading.
Oh, come on, it's just reading a book and making a few notes, brother.
No, it's more active than that. It's very involved.
Can we assist you?
If I ask for something, you can go get it, but that's about all I can think of.
Well, we can, I mean, this seems to be a very deadly creature. It
Yes.
might be more powerful than the little dragons we faced. And
I think it would be.
a good chunk larger. I'm not willing to risk the life of my family if you aren't sure that we should do it. I think it is a sound plan. A possibility.
Well, this can go. I should say, if this is not something that we want to do, we should decide not to do it and move on. Or if it's something we're going to do, we should decide to do it. But I'm going to push you guys to make a decision on this or not.
Yes.
I want to do it, but I would really like some spell research time before we actually go ahead and do it.
You have as much time as you want. The war for Akuba rages on without your presence. As long as you're comfortable being away from that for a period of time, you've got unlimited days.
Hashtag YOLO?
You guys gonna do it?
I wouldn't do it without that time though. If we're not going to do that, then you guys.
No, we can do the research time. I'm not opposed to that. If you want to do it with research time, that's okay.
I get more time for chatting up.
Maybe we should talk to the queen and find out what the reward can be for this endeavor.
Oh, her friendship. Her eternal friendship.
I
Just
know,
like we
and
now
after
have
that,
eternal trust.
and after that, there's just a little other thing that will
And
save even
after
more
that,
of her
she's
friendship.
gonna have all her troops back,
Hi,
which she's
you have an
gonna
elephant
send
we can
straight
borrow.
over the sea to claim back Akuba.
Ooh.
Sarah, I know where this is going, that's why I'm asking. We should try to find out what the gift would be that she would bless us with.
Well, why don't you ask her?
Because it is clearly deadly, you know? So, are we going to meet with the queen, guys? Is that a
Sure.
plan?
Yeah.
Sure. It has been some days. Doesn't really matter how long. You guys can meet back with the queen. This time
guess
you
we have
are.
a-
Mhm. Yeah, yes.
We have with us a little map of the location of the Great Horn, and maybe some drawings about our plan,
Also, can Yassi be here? I'm kind of worried because we haven't heard of her since we came back. She's still alive, right?
She is
fine?
alive. Yes, she is
Okay.
here with you for this meeting because she's your diplomat and useful to have her around. So, we meet with the queen. You are in one of the small, probably in like the war room because it's got maps and you wanted to talk about and point at maps. And this is a military strategy, so it's the appropriate place to hold this meeting. Yassi is here. Prince Nicholas Hottie Pants Wick is here as well.
I'm going to see if I can arrange to be sat next to him.
Everyone's standing around the table, so you can easily find a spot to stand next to him.
Totally, yeah. Gonna.
There you are. All right. He looks at you and gives you an incline of the head and says, "Good to see you again, princess.
Likewise.
We have much business to discuss. You all know my mother, the queen, and she speaks from my country, so, mother." And the queen steps forward and says, "Well, you have now had time to think about it, Sammy. It is good to see you are in good health and return to your feet. Tell me, are you prepared to do us the honor of slaying one of our great internal menaces?"
It's under consideration so far.
I see.
We have devised a plan, which sounds reasonable and doable.
I devised the plan. Thank you.
And the plan
My
is?
sister had a lot of input to the plan, yes.
I'm gonna sort of just slap down just unroll some scrolls and just weigh them down. Just be like, right. As you can see, I've arranged a sort of like thing complicated. Right. Do you know what bird liming is? Same concept, but much larger.
I believe for this we shall need Klaus. And she motions to a servant who runs off to fetch Klaus. It'll take a little while before he shows back up, but now he's here. Klaus, these people need bird lime. And he nods and goes, "Aye."
Tar, pitch, anything that's very, very sticky.
Can do.
It needs to be a bit more sticky than the usual. It's for a larger bird, the size of a
Several dozen elephants.
galleon.
You want to
Probably-
pitch a rock, huh?
Yep.
Well, I'm all ears. Continue.
So basically, I'll just sort of like, I'll just be like, as you can see, we think we can attach a couple, sort of like the large net at several points to some trees to anchor it into the ground, sort of like some boulders here to weigh it down. It'll all be overhead, so we will be protected. If the rock stoops on us, it will get tangled, hopefully, and therefore none of us should get. Also, I believe we may need some sort of... How much silk could you lay your hands on?
Depends on the need. Can you elaborate?
When I was a child, we used to play a game where we'd tie a pebble to a silk handkerchief and throw it out of the window, and it would drift down fairly slowly. I was thinking... Perhaps we could work out something similar, but with a larger piece of silk, just in case the rock decided to pick any of us up and drop us.
Sounds good, but I would hate to entrust my life on something like this without testing it first. We
True.
created such a float. We would need a proper way to test it and a proper guinea pig.
I wish I hadn't sold that goat now.
It would probably take a lot of silk. He ponders for a moment. Is this just a harebrained idea? No, princess. Or is this something you've seen or done before?
Well, like I said, I used to have we used to make little toys of it as a child. I've seen the principle writ small. I've never tried it large.
Well,
But trying.
how many
I would
rocks
say-
do you weigh?
It's a rather personal question, is it not?
Well, if we're gonna float you down, we need
About 7.5, I believe.
No, not stone, rock. Like
About 7.5, I believe.
Okay. So how big of a piece of silk do you need for a regular rock? And then we'll multiply it by 7.5, and that's how much silk we should need, right? It should just be a double the volume. Oh no, wait a minute. If you increase the size, no, but we're already doing weights. Okay. So yeah, 7.5 times the size of a normal thingamajobber.
Well, it was, we used to do about a foot square.
Smallish rocks is what you used, right? Little pebbles?
Oh, right, yes. Oh, in that case, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Do we have any weighing scales large enough for a person?
The wizard who's here gives a nod and goes, I have scales to weigh a person.
Ah, wonderful. We can do some research then. So, but perhaps not right now. But it's an innovative solution. That's definitely a safety precaution I would like to work on.
The ranger turns to the queen and says, my queen, we could offload this work to gnomes. This is their specialty. Inventing weird shit, testing it, making sure it works. It might take them a year, but they could do it, I'm sure. And the queen goes, I would rather not this take a year. Our guests are very busy.
If I may, if the technology is successful, it would prove useful in a fight against the Great Scoria.
Point of order, says Klaus. If you're floating slowly, what's to stop Scoria or the rock from just swooping back and grabbing you again?
Nothing much,
The many soldiers below peppering them with projectiles.
hopefully, yes.
He nods.
It's either, a good chance of getting, the rock swooping back and eating you versus definite squishy death at, the hands of gravity.
Right. Well, I'll take a look into the silk issue. I don't know how much silk how long it'll take to get enough silk to do that and to stitch it well enough and test it and we'd have to throw someone off a mountain,
Oh, a tall tower, surely.
But if you had a large flying creature and would drop these things from it, couldn't you attach barrels full of burning oil and just make some flying bombs with it?
Wait, if
I
who
don't
had a
know.
if who had a flying?
I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. We're not talking about sieging a city. We're talking about fighting a rock. Let's leave the barrels of burning oil aside.
Well,
Although that is a good idea for
No.
later, brother.
as I said, as Maya said, we have this plan. It involves a lot of tar, a lot of ropes, and I think a clever idea.
If you find
Nonetheless,
any archers, that would be wonderful as well.
our research tells us that this rock is much more dangerous than what the dragon might appear to be. And as such, I am asking myself, as thankful I am for your hospitality, and as much I wish Draca's luck in the future, what the personal gain would be for us Akubans.
The queen gives you a rather flat look and says, I thought I had made this clear. This was an act of friendship between nations, between rulers, between equals. I did not think I was hiring mercenaries. But if you wish to be paid in gold, I could hand this
I'm
off
not
to
here
my
for
minister.
gold, Queen Wick. I think you misunderstood me. My apologies. Friendship is a valuable gift, indeed. But right now, with the things that we are facing, we might need more than just friendship in the future. Drakis is a powerful country in a war with Mystria, and I must blame us a bit for it in Akuba, for Mystria doing this well. But
You are responsible for
want
the
to-
Red Dragon?
no. But
Well.
we supported Mystria with weapons.
The Queen makes a face. While that is not good news to hear, we were winning the ground war handedly. If not for the dragon, the war would have been over by now. Or near to it.
Now, we face a dilemma in Akuba. We have multiple factions that are fighting for control, and none of them is able to gain the upper hand. And those that are fighting the most are those that I want to see in power over my country. They wouldn't just try to restore order, but the way of life would change. And there would be people in positions of power that neither deserve them, nor would be able to handle them responsibly.
Maya just looks at you for a second and raises an eyebrow.
Uh-huh. And
So
what
it
would
might
you...
be that in a moment, our friendship would need action of support in winning the Akuban War.
I cannot make promises because this time next week there may be armies battering down our gates, or maybe not. But I can say if I am in a position to assist my dear friends who have helped save my people in their time of need, I would gladly help you save your people in your time of need, given the opportunity to do so. Will that suffice?
I look at my siblings and give it a quick look, what they think about. Is there a nodding motion, like, okay, that's fine, or are you either not impressed?
Maya's biased, but Maya's nodding.
What's Sarah thinking?
I don't think Sarah has much of an opinion. I don't think she really wants to fight the hippogriff. Sorry, the rock.
I want to fight the hippogriff.
Yeah,
I want to fight the hippogriff.
No, I'm going to tell you, I was actually thinking about using the hippogriff for the net, to fly it in. Like if you had, hippogriffs for that. Never mind. So I was still thinking tactics.
hippogriffs with machine guns.
Yeah, I think she thinks that these people seem pretty desperate, and that it doesn't look like Drakis is gonna be of a big help anytime soon.
So you don't want to go through with the plan?
I mean, we already said we would, but
What's Sammy's reaction to it?
What do you mean, like facial expression, or?
Yes, I'm looking at you, trying to read your face.
Like looking down, a bit disappointed.
Are we able to do this?
With concern, mostly.
Are we willing to give this a try?
What's the worst that could possibly happen? Come on, we can do this.
I wish to.
Sammy, just because you got eaten by the dragon last time doesn't mean the rock's going to eat you next time. It's fine. I mean, what's the chances of that happening?
Intelligent creature like that with seeing me with magical abilities. Anyway, I
Well, I'm not gonna wait for him to answer and turn my face to the queen and say, under these circumstances, we are willing to give it a try to face the rock and end this threat for your kingdom. But please don't be disappointed if the rock is still alive and we come back and have fled, because this is also an option.
You don't have any hippogriffs by chance?
We do not.
Can I ask, would your court wizard be available for talking to in the coming weeks?
Yes.
For I would just think that he's from the magics that I hear he knows. I think I could learn something of value that I could take into this quest against the rock.
Can he fly?
My wizard?
Yeah.
Of course. Any good wizard can. And then she makes a face like, whoops, did I just say something insulting to Sammy?
Sammy doesn't give any indication.
Okay. Good. So we're settled. Klaus will help you set up your contraption and help you find your bait. You will do the slaying. And when we're done, we shall celebrate. As we say in Drakisian, das das ein Schnitzel und dein Lieberlings. It'll be great.
What?
I am shocked. Are they bringing in the food, Neal?
No.
Wow.
They know this is a war meeting. There's no food here.
Wait.
What? We're getting schnitzel and what? Lieberlings?
I'm not using real words. I'm just doing things that sound Germanic to me. So
Okay, I feel like
That's very dramatic.
your sausage to your darlings.
Yes.
darlings. Oh God.
Oh boy.
Liebling is basically darling, isn't it?
Yes. And schnitzel is like,
Well, that's a word. Yeah, I knew that.
Sausage.
But the rest of it, I'm just throwing things together that sound Germanic to me. I'm glad that some of
Slip
them
on the
are.
sausage. Yeah, there we go. Hey, darling, want to slip me the sausage? Oh, yeah.
All right.
That was inadvertently incredibly filthy, Neal. I'm shocked at you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, anytime you mention meat, someone's gonna make it filthy.
So does this mean that Prince Nicholas is going to slip my other sausage at some point?
I don't know. Can you make him an offer that's worthy of a prince?
You got a few weeks, right?
Yo, you're a prince. I'm a princess. I'm gonna go kill a big bird. Let's bang first. I don't want to die a virgin.
Well, that might work. There might
also
be a
sound
more
desperate.
direct method of making friends with these people instead of killing a rock. If you're so into Prince Hottie Pants.
Professor Hottie Pants. Please, Prince is my brother. Professor Hottie Pants to you. Oh.
It's a PhD in hotness and pants.
Yep. But Maya probably will at some point just sort of seek him out and just be like, so, Nicholas, do you have any, do you have a betrothed by any chance?
Technically, I think I'm still betrothed to this one circus performer I met a few years back. But I think she understood that that was a pillow betrothal. You know.
I know. I was just wondering how you would feel about maybe an alliance between our houses? You know.
What does that have to do with being betrothed or not?
Alliance by marriage? Come on, you're a prince. You know these things.
I'm a prince, you're a princess. Are you Princess Maya? If you're going to propose to me, I need a ring and I need to see you down on one knee.
Hang on a second. I'm sure I've got. I'm just going to sort of reach into my bag, pull out one of the rings from the guy I murdered. Just be like, this dude.
He like takes a look towards the floor.
She'll just totally get down on one knee and be like, Prince Nicholas, would you do me the honor of marrying me?
Well, Maya, we hardly know each other. But assuming you survive the rock encounter, and assuming we don't get murdered while you're doing that, then I will say yes. But I don't want to be a widower yet, so I cannot say yes until after the rock has been slain.
I understand. I've read the fairy tales. I go out, I slay the rock, I bring you back a feather or something.
Do you win the prince over with your daring actions and
Half the kingdom. I'm only joking. I don't really want half the kingdom. I don't expect.
I think
half
I get
the
half your kingdom, technically.
Such as it is. Such as it is. Yeah.
Right, what's half of nothing?
Hey, not nothing. It's just
You
know,
are something, but as I understand, you don't sit on any thrones right now.
We are temporarily embarrassed in the kingdom department.
It's fine. I do think I need to run this past the head of state.
Probably
but assume...
would be a good idea, yes.
Yeah, I mean, well, actually, we don't have
Technically,
to.
I should have asked your mother's permission first. It was a spur of the moment thing. It's fine. We were caught up in the romance. I'm sure
If
she'll
she says
understand.
no, we can just elope anyway.
We could just say sod the rock and elope anyway.
No, I can't leave my people behind. You know.
I understand.
Right.
It's a nice thought, though. So since there's a very good chance I'll probably get horribly murdered by a rock. You want to do a sort of, I won't say dry run, but do you want to do a
Dry run's not a good term.
Test for the wedding night, just to.
Yeah, why don't, before we agree to do this, why don't we see if we're compatible?
Yes, let's. Yes.
Let's. And he'll take you up into his princely palace. Call for it's September. It's kind of hot. He'll call some servants over to fan you guys. Bring out some wine.
The servants?
He dismisses the servants.
Does he order a slippery nipple, Neal?
No, he does not order that. He just has regular wine. God, I feel like I need a call for some sort of like compatibility check here, but I don't really know what that would be.
Oh dear. Dex?
I don't know how to. I'm just gonna roll some dice. How about this? You roll a d20 and I roll a d20, and it's not how high each of them roll. Mm-hmm. It's how close the rolls are to each other that matters. Because you could be fantastic in one area, but if he wants something else in a different area,
I mean, virgin.
We're looking for general compatibility. So random d20 for you, random d20 for me, and we'll just see how close they get.
Okay. 2. Okay.
You roll a 2 and he rolls a 4, so you guys are pretty damn close.
Yes.
We cut to an hour later. 2 sweaty, heaving bodies, panting.
I believe I've never done that before.
No.
Huh.
I wouldn't. And I wouldn't believe you if you tried to insist that. Great, so we'll join our houses with my queen's permission. And do you need to ask anyone? No offense, sweetheart, but your family's all dead, right? Your father and mother, so you're free.
I mean, technically Bud, but quite frankly, he can whistle. I don't really care. Also, he's an idiot, so I wouldn't worry about it. That's fine.
Perfect. Well then, go kill that rock.
They tried marrying me off to a baby, so I get to choose this.
Wait a minute, are you betrothed?
No, I'm not. The betrothal was broken.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay, good.
Besides, the baby's probably been eaten by a dragon by now.
Ah, perfect. Wait a minute, were you betrothed to a Mystrian?
I had no choice in the matter. I was not happy about it. Trust me, I was not happy about it.
Were you betrothed to a member of the Mystrian royal family?
A baby.
And you didn't tell me this before you lured me into bed?
I did not lure you. I straight up asked you.
You lured me.
I did not lure you. Look, luring implies some sort of I just straight up asked you and you said yes, okay? That's not luring.
He grumbles to himself. All right. We'll settle this out.
It's all water under the bridge anyway. Want to go again?
So we'll just cut to sometime later where I guess Maya needs to announce her engagement. That was an unexpected turn.
Well, the prospect of probably dying is, it's just like, fuck it.
I think it's a great idea, actually. I just wasn't expecting it. It's fantastic.
This man is so dead.
And Maya's gonna be so sad. Right. So...
Are you gonna kill him, Sarah?
But no. I hope they have many babies.
From this 2 times.
What was I gonna say?
There are many more times to come, I hope.
What was I gonna say? Yeah. So probably I won't announce it until he's asked his mum.
Right.
Because I don't want to be jumping the gun. But I'm definitely going to I'm just going to definitely be swanning around, just being super smug and just like, oh yeah.
Oh, well, this is great then, because he will ask his mum, and before you get an answer back from him, you will all be brought, before the queen will summon you all to a large, feasting dinner, sort of out of the blue, which is not too uncommon for royals. And there she will be happy to announce the engagement of her son, Prince Nicholas, to Princess Maya. to
Oh yeah,
everybody.
I'm just going to be like, I probably should have mentioned this, but I didn't realize they'd moved this far. Sorry. So yeah, totally got
Did
engaged.
you know? Sarah?
Yes, I knew.
What?
Yeah,
Sarah?
I
Oh,
asked
not
him.
you.
I'm just politely clapping, and I'm like, I had no idea. I had no idea.
There's great applause from all the assembled lords and ladies and other nobles, and the prince stands up and walks over to Maya and says, pulls out a ring and says, "This is the ring she gave me. It was her mother's and her mother's before that." And he makes up a complete bullshit story about the history of this ring and like this special significance, and goes on a small rant, not a rant, a small monologue about how it'll bring the two houses of Drekis and Akuba together, and all the nobles are applauding like, "Yes, Princess Maya." And then like Akuban and the like applauding
Oh, I'm still going. I'm still like,
stops. Right. And the queen,
Clap
like,
louder.
once the queen sees that everyone has stopped applauding, she starts again, and other people like, all right, we'll keep applauding. But you can see this has caused some discontent among the nobility here. And I think that's a great spot to end it for the day, unless there's anything else anyone has any wrap-ups they want to do. No. Perfect.
That's fine.
Can I just learn a spell?
What spell do you want to learn?
Featherfall.
Is that in
fly
your
instead.
collection of books? Is that in your collection of books?
Yeah, it's first level. It would be my last first level spell.
Excellent. Then yes, you can roll for it.
Alright, roll 20, go.
Did you log out of Roll20 already?
No.
No, he's still there.
I just have too many windows open. No, that's a D20. That's a
pretty good.
success.
Nice.
Sammy knows Featherfall. Sammy spends some bedtime learning Featherfall.
Okay. Did you pass your check?
I did.
Lovely. Okay.
Featherfall. Nice. Yes. Good.
Once affected by the spell, the rate of descent is slowed to 100 feet per minute. No damage is incurred from falling. Objects being hurtled through the air, ballista bolts, rocks, arrows, etc., may be targeted as long as they are not under the effects of acceleration other than due to gravity. These objects automatically miss their targets unless a whole volley is fired at once. The spell usually only affects one object when cast this way. Whatever way the spell is used, it causes a number of feathers to appear in the air around each object targeted by the spell. These feathers are non-magical, and for medium-sized humanoids are from a chicken-sized creature. For smaller creatures, smaller feathers are created. So you will make something slow, but you will also produce like a plume of feathers around it, which will float to the ground.
So, question, it's a verbal instantaneous, so does that mean I could do it pretty much as soon as someone's been caught and dropping?
Yes, but it will, if you are like, if we roll initiative and you're like, I'm going to cast Hold Person, and then Bud falls from the sky and you start casting Featherfall, you will have to pay the cost of the Hold Person spell, and you'll lose the Hold Person spell, but you'll still get the Featherfall spell off. So it'll interrupt, but yeah, cool. Perfect.
That's something good to know.
All right. Well, congratulations.
No, still got to kill the rock.
Yeah. Congratulations on meeting pixies and getting some magical trees.
And getting some.
Getting engaged, and finding out that the Queen of Drekis didn't try and get your father murdered. Although, I guess a good question for you all now is, who do you think actually did order that assassination if it wasn't the Queen of Drekis?
I've been wanting to go back to Sanishar and find that assassin since we brought her back. It's been weighing on my mind.
I currently think it was either an inside job from Akuba itself or from Mystria, because they knew that the deal might not happen with the king.
And the person that you had questioned, who made it sound like she was from Drekis, what did she say? Does anyone remember what her story was?
She said it was from one of the queen's cousins, like one of the queens of a different town. Hired them because what was it? Just bad blood, basically.
Okay. Lovely. And I guess before we go, let's check in with people. Starting with Sarah, how are you feeling about your sister's engagement?
I guess she's not too surprised because usually Maya doesn't tell them what's up, right? And she's quite a charming. I mean, Sarah acknowledges that her sister is a very charming, very talented person, right? So yeah, good.
Super evil, but you know.
Good for her. Not surprising she didn't tell anybody, but you know, no hard feelings there.
People this time.
Yeah, no hard feelings.
Is Sarah feeling a little left out of all the romancing? Because Bud's been chasing people and Maya's now engaged. Sammy hasn't really done anything, but he's an indoor wizard, so that kind of makes sense.
I'm a nerd.
Is Sarah sort of left out of the romance of it all?
I think it's I think Sarah has been busy with so many things, like keeping her family out of trouble, that she hasn't really time to think about herself. I think this is going to give her a little bit of reflection, right? Like, what do I actually want? You know, what is going to happen when all my family disbands and they all get what they want, and what am I going to do then? Right? She's been very focused on like her faith and all these things, but I think she realizes that on a personal level, she might still, you know, be lacking a little bit in that department. Yeah.
And what about the pixies and the rock? What's run through her mind about these things?
Well, she thought the pixies were very fascinating, and she's going to keep them as a happy memory. And apparently there are like great secrets ahead that she's never thought about and that she finds very fascinating. And the rock is just, it's a mixed bag. So she's straight up terrified of that thing. On the one hand, and on the other hand, it's also, she has respect for these really big creatures that are also kind of rare, right? And this seems like to be almost a fantastical beast, and it's almost a shame to have that you have to kill it, right? So it's it's gonna be rough for her, I think. It's gonna be.
Bud, how do you feel about your sister getting engaged?
I think it's the wrong sister that got engaged. I think Bud would have been more happy if after the war and everyone goes to peace, his good-hearted sister Sarah would be in Drakis, you know, far away for him to be able to plot his things that he wants to do, and have Maya at his side. I think that would be better in the long run, but it's a good move for the country. It's some diplomatic relationship we're getting, so that's fine with him. And if we're not able to handle the rock, which he's, I mean, let's be honest, he's not 100% sure that they stand a chance, but he's willing to give it a try, because the things that are in stake are just bigger than his life. And he just wants to see, how far he can push his destiny. And that's kind of his situation right now. And he believes that he will be king of Drakis and nothing will stop him, because that's just his destiny. So.
And you also have been sort of trying to find a partner in some ways. You know, you were looking into some of the Mystrian princesses or noble ladies, and here your sister's going and beating you to it, and you didn't even realize it. Is there any envy or jealousy happening here?
No, I'm not jealous, because Bud don't think that it's about true love with her. I think she saw an opportunity to cash in, get a position like her mother did, and exploit it. And so she went for it. It's fine.
And how's this trade with Drakis? Is it worth it? Kill the rock, maybe get some military assistance if Drakis ever has any opportunity to do so. Is this a good deal that you've made?
No.
All right.
That's it. He knows it's not a good deal, but he wants to push it, and he wants to show that he's willing to do things and go beyond something that others would usually do. willingly risk his life, and the queen will, I think, acknowledge that the situation is far more dangerous than what they faced with the dragons. I'm pretty sure she knows that they were just young dragons, and this is a full-ass grown rock that's flying around. So I just hope that she's able to realize how serious his desire for a new future between the two countries is. I think that's what he's betting on. I don't know if he will get what he wants, but he's still willing to do it. I mean, at least we're leveling up, right? If we fucking do that.
Yeah. All right. Sammy, how are you feeling about all these things? Your sister's engaged all of a sudden in the middle of nowhere. There's this semi-suicide mission that you almost died doing the lighter version of. Life is complicated and messy, and you seem to have gotten the shortest end of the stick as of late. How are you feeling?
Oh. Well, let's deal with this engagement first. Sammy is very surprised, because he was dealing with how is he supposed to like let loose and have fun with all these things happening around, and he's quite like impressed with Maya that she's like found this person and has actually found the time to spend time with him and like get relations going and actually like find someone that she seems to be actually like compatible with in terms of personality wise. Like because she's like a very like she's a unique character. He has probably seen all the men so far as like not worth her time, and for someone to come along and
Hey,
impress
hot
her.
desert guy dude was hot, okay? But unavailable.
For someone
Fernando.
to come along to propose to, not just like have relations with, that's a big deal for her in Sammy's mind. And so he thinks it's good for her and good that she is like she's distracted enough from the world to be able to find this. As for the rock and this dangerous mission stuff, it's one thing after another, and Sammy, like the question you had with Bud about whether the deal is a good deal. Short term, no, it's not a good deal. We're not going to get anything worthwhile out of the things we put into it. But long term, and probably for if Drekis as a nation survives past this war, long term, even after we're gone, this is going to do a good number between the relations of the empires.
So it's a long-term investment you're making then.
It's a long-term investment supported wildly by Maya's engagement, and that if it's a lasting one, it can be used as actual evidence of the relations between Akuba and Drekis, rather than just the royals came over, killed these dragons, then killed this rock. It's it's something that the common people can recognize and understand that, yeah, they're not just mercenaries, they're like a royal family and they're marrying and yeah.
Fantastic.
I think it's a worthwhile investment long term that we won't see the benefit of in this campaign.
Okay. And last but not least here, Maya, you done it. It's taken 22 episodes, but you finally did it. You got laid and you found a husband.
Worth the wait, goddammit, worth the wait. Maya's probably actually like genuinely quite taken with him because he's like, oh, okay, he's actually like, you know, he shares a lot of Maya's interests in as much as he enjoys being sneaky, and you know, he's a bit of a rascal.
Little less than honest every now and then.
Yeah, Maya's just like, oh, well, hello there. Hi. So she's just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna go and fight a rock. Why not? What's the worst that could possibly happen?
Oh.
As long as I don't die.
Yeah, are you, what are you expecting to get out of this? Is this actually for personal happiness, or is this for political reasons, or, you know, why is she, everything? Yeah.
Well, she basically, Maya sort of like has grown up being like a tool. She's very much like she's always been useful. So she's basically she's seen a chance where she can like have something for herself maybe. So she's just like, this could be my chance to like, you know, just to do something for me that, you know, obviously it's gonna, you know, it'll probably benefit the rest of the family because they'll get closer ties to Drakicia and blah blah blah, and you know, it's useful contact. But she's just like, nah, this is for me.
That's nice. Something for you. Something that's not necessarily you just being a tool for the greater ends of other people. That's lovely. All right, well then, that will end us up here for the day. Is there anything we want to say before we go? Anyone have any cool streams coming up this weekend?
I'm 50-50 on doing a subathon tomorrow, Sunday even, but I don't know yet. I'm tired.
So maybe go by Fuzzy's tomorrow, or at least swing by in the morning, see what's going on.
Yeah. Sunday, not tomorrow, Saturday, right?
Subscribe to her Twitter.
Yeah, Sunday.
So mention it there.
That's right.
Yeah. Follow me on Twitter. That's where things.
At Fuzzy Freaks.
At Twitch Fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Shame.
Because branding consistency across all platforms is not a thing.
And is Seekers of Samarthon?
Salmonath, yes.
Close.
Is on tomorrow. If you're not watching Shenanigans, or if you're watching Shenanigans but you still want to catch Seekers of Samarth on Greg Hansen's channel, the lovely campaign he's DMing there. You should check out his YouTube and just have a look there if you don't want to watch it live. Otherwise, if you like to hang out with the nice people and chat, you should absolutely join Neal's Discord. And if you're a girl or woman and you like to discuss D&D, Neal's campaigns, and any stuff that's related to that, you should shoot me a little message so I can invite you to our Shield Maiden channel. We can hang out.
I hear that's going well, but I wouldn't actually know.
It is pretty good. It's a lovely little community. You know, I'm very appreciative of it.
Fantastic. And if any of you guys want to play Heroes of the Storm, where you can get really murky, you can also swing by, because we play that like every day.
But don't play Murky because he's a terrible hero.
Yeah, Murky's a piece of shit. King Murky's worst. Well, that's it for us here. We will see you guys not next week because I'm out of town all next week, but the week after that, we will have another session. So, goodbye.
Bye.